Thank you to the chairman for bringing out this hearing. So I do want to just very quickly address Dr. Bernstein. You mentioned spending as compared to what CBO had been projecting, but historically, over the last 50 years, revenue's been at roughly 17%. Yes, there's been fluctuations up and down, but it's been roughly at 17%, and spending has steadily risen. So it's been, if you look 50 years ago, it was maybe 17, 18%, and now it's 23. So I think you look at the historic perspective, I'm not sure that we're getting exactly the picture from you, and I don't have time to have you respond to that, but I did, since the ranking member brought it up, I wanted to mention it. I want to say this, all of the comments in regards to this target have been very good. I've agreed again with most of what Dr. Bernstein said, certainly what the chairman has said and the other witnesses. Thank you for being here. And I want to thank the ranking member for at least the last 30 seconds of his opening statement. And by the way, I hope that was whole milk, being from a good dairy state. I hope that was whole milk in your, yeah. But I really do appreciate what you said in your opening statement, because I think the real value of this isn't necessarily that it's 3%, because I agree it's a pretty low bar. Just to get to 3%, like we all know that we should really get to a balance eventually. But it's a target that does, I forget who answered it, but it's, if you can get the debt, the economy growing faster than the debt, we start to get there long term. And you have to look back to World War II, when the last time we were at these levels of debt. And by the way, that was after we had a major conflict. So one of the problems is we may not be prepared today if we see an acceleration of what's happening now or some other conflict. But the point I want to make is, and I think this was to Dr. Bernstein's point, the real goal here should just be moving it in the right direction. And if we can get to 3% within 10 years, that's fabulous. After World War II, it took about 3 decades of exactly that happening, where we're gradually moving in the right direction. And so I think that's where we need to go. But I think the real value here today, if we're able to do this, if we would get to the point where on a bipartisan basis, we advance something like this out of Budget Committee, it may be the first time that a bipartisan group of members of Congress put forward a resolution all coming together and recognizing that, listen, we do have a problem. We get it, as the chairman said. Both parties have contributed to it. We get it that all solutions have to be on the table here. But if we could just come together and say, we've got to somehow work through the differences that we have in policy to begin to address this, to do what's right for the American people, to stabilize our economy, to avert a kind of debt crisis that really would help the poor that we want to help, or would hurt the poor that we want to help. If we can make that statement as a committee on a bipartisan basis and then pass that on the House floor, I think that'd be a huge first step. And back to the ranking member's points, we will have, I think, great differences. I agree with some of what you said, Dr. Bernstein, but then the rest of it, maybe not. We will have a lot of differences in terms of how we address this, but if we could make the statement, we know we're gonna have those differences, but we've got to get to a solution, and that's a lot of hard work to work through all of that, but we could do it. And if we would stay together as a committee and move this to the floor, recommend that the House take this up, the Senate hopefully takes it up, and we as a body finally realize that when you're spending $1 trillion in debt, if you want to help people, think about that. That's $1 trillion that could be going to other people, and the risk that we're putting ourselves in as a country to be able to address the challenges that we have, and the burden that we're placing on future generations. So we can address all of that, and it starts with a resolution like this, and I think that's the real value of a resolution like this. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.